Venice and New York. The former is a city in Italy, the latter in the US, quite far apart, but they share more than their love for pizza. They now share a sinking feeling because New York City, just like Venice, is sinking due to the weight of its skyscrapers. It sinks about 2 to 4 millimeters a year. Doesn't sound very much, right? 4 millimeters is 3/20ths of an inch. This descent is so slow, it sounds almost amusing. But experts say it's the very opposite of funny. New York's sinking is a serious problem, and it's an issue shared by several other cities in the world. But why is it such a threat, and what can be done about it? Here's a report.
This is New York City, the Big Apple. It's America's most densely populated city, with over 8.4 million people. But do you know what else this city is home to? It's skyscrapers. New York is world famous for its buildings, and it has over 1 million of them. Can you guess how much they collectively weigh? A strange question to ask, but stay with us. They weigh 762 billion kgs. That's a lot, right? New York City would agree, because it's getting buried under the burden of its own weight. Correction, it's sinking due to this weight. And we aren't saying this, a study is. New research has been published. It says that New York City is literally sinking. Some areas are subsiding much faster than others, like Queens, Brooklyn, and Coney Island. Areas like Manhattan are sinking at a slower pace, because their skyscrapers are anchored in bedrock and not soil. So different parts of the city are being impacted differently. But one thing is common. All of New York City should be worried, because it's sinking between 2 to 4 millimeters a year. This doesn't sound like much, but this gradual descent is a big threat. It makes the city more prone to natural disasters, and the downward force of buildings, coupled with rising water levels, create a big flood risk in the city, and this risk is only increasing thanks to global warming. Plus, climate change is also strengthening hurricanes, which means storms could be up to 4 times more frequent by the end of this century. And they could invite deadly floods. So New York City is not only sinking, but also unwittingly welcoming worse calamities. As you may have heard, misery loves company, and New York has plenty in this case. Cities across the world face a similar future, including Venice in Italy, Mumbai in India, Jakarta in Indonesia, Bangkok in Thailand, London in the UK, Lagos in Nigeria, and Dhaka in Bangladesh. Out of all these cities, only 2 are aggressively looking for solutions. The first one is Venice, which is sinking at the same rate as New York. But after years of dithering, the tourist hotspot has built seawalls, costing Italy over $5 billion. They're helping as of now, but experts are doubtful about their long-term benefits. So climate change still seems to be winning the long race. The other city is Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. It too is sinking, and at a much faster pace than New York. But Indonesia has a solution in mind, quite opposite to that of Venice. It has called Venice's seawalls a duct tape solution. So instead, it's building a new capital city from scratch, like the child who's about to lose a game and decides it's better to start a new one rather than persist with a losing cause. So where does all this leave New York? Will it build another Big Apple on higher and drier land? Experts say unlikely, simply because this sinking is not an emergency for the city, not yet anyway. But it's surely headed in that direction, and soon they could be in the sink or swim territory, quite literally. New York is often known as the city that never sleeps, and now it has another reason to stay awake.